know, I run Empowered STEM. Empowered STEM is an A-level course provider, and we provide A-level courses in biology, chemistry, physics, and maths for those students that want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. So today, I wanted to come in and I wanted to talk to you about how you can help your teen define and stick to academic goals. Because the issue is this, parents. Teens rarely set goals. And if they do set them, they rarely stick to them. So by the end of this live stream, I'll give you the tips, strategies, and techniques that we use at Empowered STEM so that you can help your teens set meaningful academic goals, which will stick with them through the entire academic year, all without stress and overwhelm. Now, let's break this down. Why do teens struggle with goals? Well, there's been a lot of research done on it, and the top finding is that the goals are too vague. So, for example, if we're talking to a teen and as they enroll into one of our courses, normally it's, oh, well, I want to get the A star in A-level biology, or I want to get the A star in A-level chemistry. The issue with that one, even though it sounds really good, the issue with that one is this, is that there's no starting point. They don't know where they are in terms of grade in A-level chemistry, for example. Are they at a B, a C, or a D? So there is no starting point for them. There's no structured plan. There's no blueprint. And so their journey is kind of haphazard. It's meandering all over the place because they're not taking the path to the A star, which is the shortest path they can take. There's no accountability system. Yes, it's great to have all these goals and tasks and sub-goals in place, but if there's no accountability system for when you do it and when you don't do it, well, then it kind of becomes a bit meaningless. And this is the biggest finding from the research, is this one, is that there's no emotional connection. Now, parents, you and I would probably call this, there's no skin in the game. But it's true. If there's no emotional connection between the goal and your teen, the chances of that goal being completed, being achieved, begins to diminish. Because teens don't fail because they lack motivation. Teens fail because the goals, they aren't set up to work. The saying that I have is, you can run to the east as fast as you want, you'll never see a sunset. And so we have teens that when they enroll into our courses, when they're in the onboarding process, we find out that they have these goals and they kind of have a plan, somewhat of a blueprint, but they're not set up for success. Now, we're talking about goals then. We need to take a different approach to it because most people, when you talk to them about goals and goal setting, well, they have to use the SMART goal idea. Remember that one? SMART goals? What, specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and timely? And how successful is that one? Not really, is it? Why? Because if you look at it, what you notice is that there's no emotional connection there. So what we do is that we start with the identity of your teen. Now, I know, parents, you're thinking, identity of my teen? Graham, I thought this was about goal setting. Right. Recall I said there's no emotional connection to goals that fail. The way of getting an emotional connection to a goal that will be achieved is to have the identity attached to it. And so what we do is the third step, it's the fourth step in our four-step pathway, is that we use something called medical mindset, which is quite easy. It's this. Your teen takes on the identity of who they want to become. So, for example, if they want to be a medical doctor, well, then they start thinking that they're a medical doctor, or a dentist, or a veterinarian. They start thinking they're a dentist or a veterinarian. And then when they have this identity, like, yes, I am a student that will become a dentist or veterinarian or a doctor, well, then you take that down a step and you go, right, now I'm going to be the type of student that will get the grades that I need to have in order to be a well qualified candidate for medical school. Because again, research shows, parents, that identity based goals stick more than just grade based goals. So if we go back to the example, if I had two students and they come into our courses at Empowered STEM and they always have a grade based goal. What is your goal? Well, my goal is, Graham, I want to get the A star on A level biology or A level chemistry, A level maths. And we know our internal data shows the chances of them getting that is pretty slim unless they move from a grade-based goal, which is an external goal, external focus, to an identity-based goal, which is an internal focus, and say, right, I'm going to become the type of student that will earn the A and the A star in A-level biology because I'm going to university to become a medical doctor. Research also shows, and again, this is from the academic research, this is from neuroscience, this is from academic coaching. It's this one. Imagine it like a loop, parents. Imagine a loop. At the top is identity. To the right of it is behavior. Down below is habits, and then it's grades. And so if we install in your teen the identity that they are the type of student that will earn an A or an A star, because they want to be a medical doctor, that's going to affect their behavior. This is from the psychology. It's motivational psychology. It's this one. Identity affects behavior. And so now they're more likely to study, revise, become independent learners. And behavior then leads to the formation of habits. Because at Empowered STEM, we're all about habits. Because my saying is motivation wanes, but habits never die. And so they now start having a habit. It's known as a cognitive pulse. It's the 6 pillars of neuroscience. Basically, they study and they revise at regular times and periods throughout the weeks. And when they've got the habits installed, then the grades begin to increase. And we see the grades increase in a matter of a month or 2 months. All of a sudden, they're coming back saying, I've got an A at this test in school. I did this mock exam. I got the A star. All right, I'm over the moon. The parents are happy. Well, of course they are. But parents, we understand what it is. It's just the success cycle: identity, behavior, habits, and grades. And so we start with identity up the top. This is why we change the identity. We help your teen rewire their identity to be somebody who is going to be successful at A-level maths and A-level science. Because if we do this, what we notice is that teens who anchor their goals to who they are becoming, they show up differently. Their behaviors change. Cameras are on. Homework is done. Quizzes are done. Study is done. Revision is done. Exams, past papers are done in a meaningful way. Of course they are. Right. Now, if we go back then to why teens struggle with goals, we talked about the emotional connection, which is the identity bit. Now let's look at the starting point. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, the starting point. They need to know where they are, what they know or what they don't know. So, have a firm foundation in what they're going to do next. And so at Empowered STEM, it's our very first step in the 4-step pathway. It's precision diagnosis. Okay, we call it precision diagnosis because goals fail if the starting point is unknown. So imagine that you're going down to the gym and you have the idea that you want to be fit for the summer vacation. Great. Wouldn't you hire a personal trainer? Wouldn't you at least learn how to use the gym equipment safely? Wouldn't you at least step on the scales and find out how much you weigh, what your body fat percentage is? You would have a clear idea of your starting point, and this is the end point that you want to reach. Well, same thing applies then with academics, with A-level maths and A-level science. And so we're talking about precision diagnosis. What your team can do is that they can start giving themselves quizzes at the end of each topic, at the end of each subtopic. Take a quiz. Just do some questions from a past paper and under time conditions. Or maybe make a topic checklist. Do they know this topic? Do they know all of the subtopics below the topic? Maybe take a past paper under time conditions. So the point being is they're gathering data. And this is the best bit, because if you gather data, then you know what you know and you know what you don't know. And so at Empowered STEM, we have an entire system in place for the precision diagnosis bit, which helps us really quickly determine what your team knows and what they don't know, and we can track it throughout the course. And so they're always doing something meaningful to increase their grade. There is no guesswork, because precision creates focus, and focus creates progress. If your team knows what they know and they know what they don't know, then they've got a starting point. And then they can focus on learning what they don't know and just revising what they do know. And so their grade's going to move up, isn't it? Second thing is that your team needs to build systems and not wishes. It's great to have the wish, parents, that your team wants the A or the A star in A-level maths, biology, or chemistry. It's a wish, isn't it? It's what they wish for. But it doesn't mean that they're going to get it unless they have a system in place to help them walk the path to success. So we know where they are, and we know what they know, what they don't know. This is precision diagnosis. And then what we've got to do is we need to help them put a blueprint in place, a framework that they can follow that will allow them to walk the path to the A or the A star in A-level maths and A-level science. So the next thing we do is that we do something called conceptual clarity. This is the second bit, the second step of our four-step pathway. Conceptual clarity. It's this. They need to really understand the topic. Deep understanding, not shallow understanding, not kind of get it, not just like a surface idea of it. No, a really deep understanding of it. Because they need to understand before they memorize. And a lot of students, what they do is that they will memorize the mark scheme, they'll memorize the definition, they'll memorize the content. And all the examiner has to do is twist the question around on the paper, and guess what? Grades begin to drop, don't they? It's like the game Jenga. It's like you put the one bit of wood and everything just collapses all the way down. And so your team needs to have really strong foundation in the subject matter. This is what we call conceptual clarity. And the third bit is going to be strategic revision. Now, again, this is the bit, parents, where we now start to differentiate ourselves from other people out there. Strategic revision in that we teach your team how to study effectively and how to revise using the 6 pillars of neuroscience. So strategic revision, an example of strategic revision would be your team goes through a weekly review cycle. Each week they're reviewing what they've learned throughout the week. And so Friday is the day they begin to wrap everything up. They pull in from the 6 pillars of neuroscience, spaced repetition. So they know when to hit. They know when to hit certain topics throughout the week. Like I'm doing chemistry Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe biology Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They're using past papers in a way which is meaningful. We don't teach teens how to memorize past paper questions and answers because it's pointless. It's meaningless. So what's going to happen is that the exam board just changes the question and they don't know what's going on. They also need to keep up the momentum, and this is the bit. Now we talked about this in the previous live stream. They need to keep up the momentum on this bit, meaning, and this is cognitive pulsing. It's this bit. They need to have focused blocks of times at regular times throughout the week in which they're going to study. We talked about the Pomodoro effect. Maybe they can focus for, say, 15 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, or 30 minutes, take a 10-minute break, or 45 minutes, take a 15-minute break. But they need to have focused times throughout the week and focused sessions so that their mind actually begins to expect, well, I'm doing this next. And so it's less cognitive load for the brain. And they need to do this on a regular and consistent basis. Because a goal without a system, parents, is just hope. But a goal with a system becomes predictable. This is why when students enroll in our courses at Empower STEM, it becomes predictable when they follow the path, the framework that we give them. And so they're really excited because they move from a C or a D, they quickly move up to the A or the A star in A-level maths and science. But to us, it's predictable because they're following a proven framework. The next thing then is this. You need to help them, parents, be accountable without the pressure. The saying is this: you don't want to be the referee in the game, you want to be the coach. In other words, you don't want to be the referee handing out red cards, micromanaging everything, saying, oh, have you revised today? Have you done this? Have you done that? No, give your teen some autonomy, but be the coach on the sideline and switch the way that you ask the questions. So possibly could be, what's your plan for A-level chemistry today? How's it going in A-level biology this week? You don't want to be a manager. You want to be a mirror for your team. Because if you are a mirror, if you are a coach, your teen has autonomy, which means that they're more likely to follow through with the goal. Also, last thing is weekly reflection. Feedback loops. Yes, we're big into feedback loops at Empower STEM. We are. Okay, because a feedback loop, it allows you to quickly ascertain what went well, what didn't go well, and what you're going to do to fix it. You take the emotion out of it. So what went well? I got an A on my A-level biology. Oh, fantastic. Good job. Right. What didn't go well? Well, crap, I got an A. And? Well, yeah, you know what? It really took a lot of effort to get that A. I mean, I was days studying for it. And what are you going to do to improve it next time? I'm going to become 10% more efficient in what I do. Or, flip side of the coin, how did it go in A-level biology? Oh, Graham. Didn't go well. I got a C. Okay. What are we going to do to improve it? Well, I got a C because when I look back on the papers, what I noticed is I got the definitions right. The definition question is right. But it was those application questions that really caught me out this time. And so what I need to do is I need to spend more time. I need to switch the blend of my question types that I revise, to spend more time on application questions, because this is a weak point of mine. Right. Feedback loops, parents. Because reflection turns effort into insight. Now, as always, parents, do I have a real student story? Well, of course I do. Let me tell you about Ishan. Ishan, when he came to us, when he started working with us, Ishan had a grade-based goal. His grade-based goal was, I want an A in A-level chemistry, because I want to be a doctor. Thought about that, had a conversation, explained to him identity-based goals, and then he changed it. He actually changed it to, I want to be an independent learner so that I can get the A in A-level chemistry, and I can teach myself at university, because he wants to be a doctor. So what we did is we helped him rewire his identity. We showed him how to put in the systems, the feedback loops, and consistency, momentum. And he moved to an A. He actually got an A in A-level chemistry. And he's at UCL and he's studying medicine. So parents, hopefully then this one, it's giving you some insight onto how you can help your teen define and stick to academic goals. If what I talk about in these live streams, if it resonates with you, if you're on Facebook, on the Facebook business page for Empowered STEM, like the business page, and then you'll be notified of upcoming live streams, our weekly live streams. If you're watching this one on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, because then you'll get notifications of upcoming live streams, and you'll also be able to watch all the previous live streams that we've done, because we do live streams once a week for the parents, showing you the tips, the techniques, and the strategies that we use at Empowered STEM to help your teen earn the A and the A star in A-level biology, chemistry, physics, and maths. Now, you may be interested in the courses that we run at Empowered STEM. Great. In the description below the video on Facebook, in the description below the video on YouTube, there's a link that takes you to a form, and you can fill the form out. Really easy form to fill out. And you can have a conversation with a member of my team. And it's a really easy conversation that you can have, parents, because it's a non-sales conversation. What it is that you're just having a chat with a member of my team, and they'll find out, they'll ask you, how is your teen doing in terms of grade? Like, what's the working grade? What's a predicted grade, the aspirational grade? What university do they want to go to? What they want to be, doctor, dentist, veterinarian. And then we'll explain to you how our courses at Empowered STEM works. And you can ask all the questions that you want. And at the end of the call, you'll be well informed and well taken care of. And then you can decide if it's a good fit for your teen to enroll in one of our courses. And if it's a good fit, if we think our course is a good fit for your teen, well, then you can make the decision on what you want to do next, whether you want to invest in your teen's education and proceed forward. Everyone take care, and I'll see you on the next one.